wonderful guests.
Yeah.
Extra welcome to you. Go back to election day. The morning I was ecstatic. I was so happy. I was having a couple friends over. We really anticipated that we'd have our first woman president. I was having a little get together, and we even had white outfits because later in the evening we had planned to take the light rail down to election headquarters and wear white in honor of the suffragettes. They stars were.
Oh.
And we were just gonna wait till Annette arrived at 9 o'clock after teaching her Bible study class. We were all festively waiting going down. Well, you know what happened. By the time Annette arrived at my house, we were just like in a coma, the lights dimmed, just lying there, you know, on the couches and whatever. I opened the door, and Annette's bright smile was there. She hadn't been listening to the radio, so she assumed Hillary was winning. Well, I answered the door, and she probably thought I had just received a terminal cancer diagnosis. Anyway, it was a very glum and gloomy get-together. The next morning, I woke up and I was still just so dismayed and so sad. I couldn't even turn on the news. I lay on the couch and watched about 7 consecutive episodes of Law and Order Special Victims. I couldn't face the world because I was just so sad. I was thinking, what about the environment? What about immigration rights? What about reproductive rights? You know, all the litany of things I care about that suddenly, in my mind, were at risk. I thought about my family and upcoming Thanksgiving. I have 2 of the most wonderful men for brothers, but they're on the other side of the political spectrum. We don't fight, but we don't talk. And so family get-togethers, there's sometimes these just anguish and deadly silence where we just don't talk. So I was really down in the dumps. Well, the next morning I got up, I was feeling a little better because I started thinking, well, America's a pretty fabulous country. You know, we have a strong enough system. We will get through this. The mail was still coming every day. The electricity was on. There were no irate Republicans with pitchforks outside my house trying to burn it down. You know, some countries, after the election, it's pretty scary stuff. And I started thinking, well, maybe there is a way to come out of this funk, and maybe, I think it was Robert Frost said, the best way out is always through. And I thought maybe this is a time, instead of moping around, to get busy. And so I chose to do 2 things that I think are working. And I think, and I'll tell you ahead of time, my call of action is going to be for you to consider these 2 things when you're down about something politically, whatever your feelings are to try. The first thing is to, instead of being enraged, get engaged. I took 3 of the areas I really care about, and I'm getting more involved with Planned Parenthood, with my energy and my resources. I'm getting more involved with the Dream Act Coalition, because I have many students that I'm close to that are dreamers, and I'm getting more involved with the Sierra Club. I really think for any of us, getting involved in a positive, proactive way in areas you care about can really make a big difference. With my brothers, I've asked them both, and one of them agreed, and we've had our first conversation. I asked them if they'd be willing to start a dialogue and talk to each other. And as things come down the pipe politically, just no judgment, but just to say how we perceive what's going on and how we feel about it. And I'm proud to say, I told Ellen, my my one brother and I had our first 20-minute conversation, and it was really kind of cool. I'm guardedly optimistic, but it was just such a good feeling. So I guess my overall call to action is when something comes down the pike, like an election, that you're demoralized about the event, the way events are going, and if you have people in your life that you just seem like there's a big gulf between you, get busy, get involved, and reach out and try to start a conversation with those you love. I'm still here. I feel like I can make a difference, and I can get through this. And I want to end with a wonderful quote by Martin Luther King. And he said, "We must accept finite disappointments, but we can never give up infinite hope."